Hello everybody, this is a Grumpy Old Guy Gaming, and today we are continuing our countdown to Halloween here on this wonderful Hallo-week with some Castlevania III, Dracula's Curse. You can see there the copyright 1990, yet another one of the classic Castlevanias. And this one comes with a bit of a story here at the beginning. During the 15th century in Europe, there lived a person named Dracula. He practiced sorcery in order to create a bad world filled with evil. Subtle hint that he may be the villain here. He began taking over the continent of Europe, changing countries from good to bad. The good people of Europe tried to fight off Dracula, but no one was able to survive. I suppose that made it very difficult to call for reinforcements. Finally, the Belmont family was summoned to battle Dracula's vile forces. The Belmont family has a long history of fighting evil. Apparently a long chain-whippy history. The townspeople became afraid of the Belmonts' superhuman power and asked them to leave the country, politely I assume. Fortunately, the people found a mighty Belmont called Trevor. The curse of Dracula has begun. The fate of Europe lies with Trevor, who stands there on a mountainside looking at the castle, as most heroes of the early 90s were wont to do. So that's a nice little cinematic there that basically tells you the gist of the story in general. We're going to get right into it here with the opening. Choose a name. Now I do know there is a special name that will give you extra lives in this, but for the sake of the old channel here, we're just going to call ourselves Agog. Yeah, we'll go with that. I won't spoil it here, but in part 2 I'll mention it. May even show it off. So here's our little opening sequence. We are Trevor Belmont praying at the big, giant, bluish-green cross. And we're about to enter this ruined castle area. Again, lot of interactive objects here in the background. Powering up our whip, getting those hearts that'll allow us to use our secondary weapon. Right now that's a dagger. Old throwing knife. And we enter the first room. Very similar artistically to the first couple stages of the original Castlevania, which we just covered earlier this week on the channel. Here we're starting off a little slower with some skeletons. I can't help but feel this was meant to be a more user-friendly experience than the first game. Still requires the utmost precision here. Those staircases are just really treacherous if you're not careful, and here I decided to be a little extra careful. Take out that bat with a throwing knife so I'm not trying to guess its arc and time the hit. Just love the detail on the stained glass windows as we head up here. I mean, you're starting to see some of, this is later in the life cycle NES game. I believe the Super Nintendo is out by this time, but still a fair bit of the NES catalog, I think, came out by 90. This was actually the first Castlevania game I ever played, was 3. I think we picked it up in the mall. There was a video game store, picked it up used, and it was one of the favorites of my brother and I to sit there and just keep playing with, and had the little pictures for the password at the end, and I just remember writing those down and then losing the paper so many times over. I thought, like the first, that this was the screen with the little food leftovers thing. I was hoping to find that. Couldn't figure it out for the life of me though, so if it's there, feel free to let me know in the comments where it's at. Here you see those little blue blocks there. Those are going to be platforms that are somewhat pressure sensitive. If we step on them, they'll turn over. And the Medusa heads, my bane of the first game, have returned, but less frequent and less of a daunting speed. Still managed to find one with my feet though. dodged that one. So overall, only one hit from the Medusa heads. That's not too bad. Gonna move into this next room here, and this one I think is the zombies. Yeah, it's the zombies. Again, moving slow, kind of like the skeletons from the very first screen we had monsters in, but a lot more frequently and from both sides. So you definitely can't wait too much. There's the battle axe. Hope to take that into the stage boss battle. There's our little rosary, and remember, anytime you find that little rosary, grab it and it'll wipe all monsters off the screen. Move down into this little dilapidated town section. It looks like all of these rundown buildings. See those freaky little things that pretty much ate us alive in the first game. They're toned down quite a bit here. Still gonna have a little difficulty. Two of them get around me, and I just can't find a smooth transition to it. And then there's the statue here. Was not expecting it to fire 3 times, and that's just an inconvenient height. Before you know it, we're down under half health, and I'm in a bit of trouble. As you could see, still plenty of time on the clock. We're at 290 as I'm talking. Don't know why I didn't just hit the bat there. Just sort of got in my own head. Didn't think I had enough room. So every time we get hit, we lose 2 ticks on that health bar, so really it's not even that big a health bar. Looks fairly sizable, but it's effectively only half of what you're seeing since we're losing 2 per hit. Here my inner completionist comes out, and I have to just hit every little thing. You can see that little pile of bones in the middle assembles up to a giant skeleton. Yeah, the axe would have helped us there, but just didn't carry enough life in, and I wound up dying. So we'll go ahead and give this another try. No need to worry about the stairs. I don't know why I climbed the stairs that first time. You could clearly make that jump. Go ahead, take out that bat there. I always try and get the zombies close together in one shot. Kinda jumped the gun there. A little bit jumpy. No pun intended. So we're gonna get a hit or 2 on this guy. He's gonna come over here, but that's no problem. We'll get plenty of damage on him before he jumps back over, and you know, it's only gonna take 1 more hit to take him down. We managed to get him before he could even swing his sword at us. So he's gonna burst into the whole dead bad guy flames thing, and then we get the red orb to show we've cleared the stage. Now, this wasn't a specifically linear game. You get to go different paths once you clear certain stages. And here we have our choice of going up to the clock tower or down to the forest, and I left this choice up to my son, who decided we should give the forest a try. Not the route I typically go. Not gonna lie, I almost always choose the clock tower. Just something about Castlevania and that clock tower is iconic to me. So we're starting off with our little mechanized death traps here. These slabs with spikes on them. If you remember through the first game playthrough, 1 touch from those things and you're gone. Little ghost is just gonna tail us. I hit back there and it just didn't register on the controller, so I kinda look like a doof there. You'll also notice I intentionally left the holy water go. If you look back on our first game gameplay there, you'll see why. Probably my least favorite of the secondary weapons. Always liked that this game wasn't afraid to deviate from the, you know, left to right thing from Super Mario Brothers. Some stages went right to left. Some stages you just went vertically, it felt like. So we're into this forest here, and again, beautiful use of the colors available on the NES. You know, you get more of it at this point. I think they were I don't know the technical stuff on it, but I know they were able to get more memory into the cartridge, and that's how you had games looking like Super Mario 3 at the tail end of everything. And And here you could see just leaps forward from the original Castlevania in terms of the color depth. Just a beautiful game overall. These owls are really messing with me, I'm not gonna lie. I was not prepared for anything like that, and before you know it, they take me out. Friggin' owls. So we're gonna power our whip up again and see what we could do against the owls now that we know they're coming. The answer is we can continue to let them kick our asses. Ducked that one and, you know, said hi to that nose first. Not the brightest move on my part. Not gonna lie, not crazy about these owls. Anybody know a surefire trick? And yes, I know, get good. So yeah, it pretty thoroughly got me there, and that's where we'll call part 1. Thanks for watching.